What's up, entrepreneurs? My name is James Mann, and welcome to my channel, Just Business, where I teach you how to start, grow, and scale a business from nothing all the way to six figures. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a story of Trailhead Tavern, a restaurant and bar that I opened earlier this year on St. Patty's Day. Yes, I said it, St. Patty's Day. Who the hell would open up a restaurant on St. Patty's Day? Well, damn, I got some stories to share with you guys. So before we get into it, the purpose of this video is I want to give you guys all the insight that I didn't have before hopping into the restaurant business to see if it's a good fit for you and to see if you want to get into the food and service industry, because it can be really profitable, but the margins can also be really thin and you could lose money. Let's get into it. All right, entrepreneurs. So before I get into my specific restaurant and bar, Trailhead Tavern, I'm going to talk to you about some main costs in the overall food business that you guys need to be aware of. So really, before you start any kind of business, you want to be aware of, number one, the startup cost for the business. But what I always like to do is I like to look at potential profitability. So I always take what the biggest costs are for my business and then look at that through the lens of me bringing in money, because at the end of the day, you are starting a business to make money and to be profitable. And if you can't do it in that space, or with your projections from like-minded businesses and other additional research, you're not making that much money and you can't reduce your costs, it might not be the best choice for you. So with that being said, the restaurant business is pretty cut and dry. Food is going to be expensive. You're going to pay for labor, and you're also going to pay for a space or a venue. So going into food costs, one of the things that I didn't really realize was, number one, portions are a really big thing, and you can control a lot of how you're spending by utilizing portion control, but also go through your different food reps. For example, Cisco, US Foods, and one of the reps is going to do a better job at pricing your food for you. So they'll give you discounts, but they'll also go through and say, hey, if you do this as a special, then you're going to make more money with this specific type of food. So utilize different food reps for discounts. And then also just be aware of how much you're initially pricing your food items, because one of the mistakes we made is we initially charged $10 for a burger, and now we're charging $13 for a burger. So that's a huge increase if you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of people coming into the restaurant each and every week. So doing things like that from the get-go is going to really help increase your bottom line. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is labor. Now, labor was one of the biggest mistakes we made when we initially opened. I've always been a firm believer of paying employees really, really well. You're going to keep employees, you're going to bring the best employees, and you're going to have a wonderful team. That is all great. But at the end of the day, the restaurant business, the profit margins are very, very thin. So make sure that you do not promise too much for your employees and that you do not pay them more than what the business can support. Because at the end of the day, again, you have to be able to make money. Okay. And then now I'm going to get on to another subject. So liquor and beer. So liquor is one of the things that is very, very profitable. The profit margins on alcohol are very high. But with alcohol also comes a slew of other problems and issues. We've had, a whole bunch of bar fights already. We've had people bringing in their own beer. We've had people trying to steal alcohol from us. And that and all of the license and regulatory constraints as well. It's just a lot of a headache. But at the end of the day, it does bring in a ton of money to our business and for our bottom line. So the main piece that I would like to share with you guys on that part is have bartenders that you trust. That is very important because they're going to be able to cut people off at the right time so you don't overserve and then get in trouble with the local police, because they're going to know who you are. They're going to know where that person came from, and you're going to avoid any lawsuits. You're also not going to have to worry about them giving out drinks to their friends or a whole bunch of other litany of circumstances that you might run into when you have bartenders that you do not trust with alcohol. All right, entrepreneurs. So here we are on the front page of Google, and we are going to be getting into my business, Trailhead Tavern, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the future. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So here is Trailhead Tavern in Walhalla, South Carolina. Now, when getting into this business, and really whenever you are starting a new business, you always want to be looking for opportunities. I actually was getting ready to start a bar and arcade in a different location. And after months and months of planning and research, the startup costs for all of the gaming equipment for the space and to get us up and running was well in excess of over $400,000. And I didn't want to take a financial risk of $400,000. So I looked at other options. And I almost signed a lease for the bar and arcade. I had everything ready. I had a website built. I had done a lot of research, and I had secured a contract. I was really had everything ready to go except for the construction. And that's one of the best business moves that I've made. Is sometimes the best business is the one that you don't pursue. So don't be afraid to pivot whenever new opportunities present themselves, and you'll reduce your risk, number one, but you'll also be able to bear the fruits of your next business venture as well without having that financial baggage that you could have had. So here is Trailhead Tavern. Now, Trailhead Tavern is right in my hometown of Walhalla. It's a small town with about 4,000 people, but I got into this business for one reason and one reason alone. And mainly it was I recognized opportunity. So Walhalla, like I said earlier, it's a small town. There's not a lot going on, but the area is really, really growing. And since I graduated from college, joined the Army, and moved away, the town has grown significantly. And there's been a whole bunch of commercial developments as well as other places that have sprung up in the area. So the town has sort of taken on a mountain vibe, and there's a lot of people that drive back and forth through the town each and every day because we're one of the main ways to get to the mountains over by Cherokee, Mount Pisgah, all that kind of stuff. And there's other businesses that came by called Mountain Mocha, and then there was another one called the Hungry Hiker. And what I realized is the only place you could get a drink in the town was Mexican restaurants. And everybody in the town, its population, probably 90% white people, everybody in the town was like, I love all the Mexican food, but there's no American place where I can go that serves wings, burgers, and classic American cocktails. And they're like, I'm tired of margaritas. And I heard people telling me that for years. And when I actually went back and visited, I looked at it from a business perspective and I was like, there is definitely a gap here. So that's how you guys need to think when looking for new businesses and market opportunities. Don't necessarily start a business based off of what you want to do. Start a business based off of what the customers want, what gap there is in supply and demand. Because here, there was no restaurant and bar that served American food. And now we are the only restaurant in a small town that has a full service bar that's not a Mexican restaurant. And that has been huge, not only for the Walhalla community, but for our business. And we've been able to leverage a lot of publicity through the local newspaper, as well as just through cross promotion in this small town because of what we have done. So going through, I'm just going to give you guys a brief overview of the business so I can show you. and you can look at some photos. And then I'm going to go through and talk about our first 3 months of business, our second 3 months of business, what we've done these past 3 months, and then our route forward for the future. So with any business, there's a lot of ups and downs. I am huge on presentation because how the customers see you is directly going to correlate to how much money you're going to make. So I always like to present all my businesses and everything that I do very professionally. And even if I'm lacking in some areas, for example, we only have a couple types of craft beer. I show you what we do have, and we rotate our beers on tap. So even if you guys are limited when doing stuff for your business, always present yourself in the best light for that customer. And going through, here's pictures of the cocktails, different stuff we offer, the interior of our business. And this is actually a good place to stop. So right here was opening day, St. Patrick's Day. I did about 3 months of solid marketing during our construction period for the business, hyping up St. Patty's Day, because where else is a better place to go than a full liquor bar on St. Patty's Day during its grand opening, right? So I did a whole bunch of promotion on Facebook with the newspaper, and we had the entire place packed out. This is about 4:35 p.m. We had it packed out from 2 p.m. until 2 in the morning. And we made a shitload of money on our first day. We made over $12,000 on our first day in business. And I was absolutely blown away by the potential of this business, but also by just what good marketing techniques can do. And I can get into more detail about that later. But after our first really week in business, we realized that we had some problems. And this is going to happen to you no matter what business you get into, if it's the restaurant service industry, if it's tech. When you start a business, you are going to have problems, and you are going to need to be able to pivot quickly in order to satisfy your customer base and not piss a lot of people off. In our case, if you're a restaurant and bar, you need to have good drinks and you need to have good food, right? And you need to manage your quantities. Our main mistake is we had a very, very small kitchen, and we significantly underestimated the amount of volume that we would have at our location, which is, it's a great problem to have, but it's still a problem. And for the first 3 days of business, we ran out of all of our food by 5 p.m. So that means that we had customers coming to our restaurant that people had said so many good things about because they ate there for lunch. They were coming for dinner, and we had to turn them away at the door and shut our doors early. And that hurt me so much as a new business owner, because we're turning away customers, and it was a really tough period. But our ability to increase our storage capacity and improve our kitchen systems allowed us to weather that storm for the first 3 months. Now, another big problem that we had is we marketed that we were going to have awesome wings. And because of the increased volume we had, the only way we were able to keep up with the amount of customers like this was to reduce the size of our menu. So we didn't serve wings, which pissed a lot of people off because they were excited to try our wings. And if you're telling people for 3 months, hey, here's our menu, hey, this is the food that you're going to be able to have, and then they can't have it, they're not going to be too happy with you. So during the second 3 months of business, we'll flashback really quickly. So for the first 3 months, we made a ton of money. We had a staff of over 22 employees, and we were open only for, I think it was dinner. Yeah, we were only open for dinner during the week, and then for lunch on Fridays and Saturdays. And then pretty quickly, our business dropped off. And it dropped off because customers weren't happy that we didn't have the original menu that we promised them. And that's another thing, is just manage your customers' expectations when you're starting your business, right? Now, if you look at this picture, the second picture, this is what we did over the next 3 months. So we built a exterior smoke shack, and we pivoted and increased our menu size. And we not only have wings, we have ribs, we have brisket, we have pulled pork, we have all kinds of stuff because we have an entire exterior kitchen dedicated to pushing out good quality meat. Now, as soon as we did this, our business doubled the next month because everybody was so excited to come try the wings that they never got to have in the first place, right? So you've got to be able to pivot with your business in order to satisfy the needs of the customers and really meet their expectations. And you've just got to be flexible. And it was a lot of money. It was a lot of really quick movements, and it's a lot of hard work. But the majority of the work that you're going to put into your business is going to be in the first year, and that is going to make or break you. So you need to be mentally in the best condition to handle a whole bunch of shit going wrong, because it will. And then you also, my personal opinion, you need to be in good physical shape, because the better physical shape you are, the better you are able to handle stress and handle the pressures of life and business. And when you do something like this, you are going to be in the spotlight. I was in the newspaper on multiple occasions with my business, and I had my reputation on the line as well as a lot of other things. But the key with this, as well as any other business, is you don't focus on the potential failure. The only thing that you need to focus on is the success of your business and the next thing that you need to do in order to make your business successful. So with that being said, I'm going to close on the future plan for our business. So we've been open just over 9 months, and our first year anniversary is coming up, and you better believe it's going to be a banger. So we're going to take all the lessons that we've learned from the first 9 months of being open and apply them to the biggest drinking day of the year, which happens to be on our anniversary this coming March. So we are going to continue increasing the size of our menu. We are going to add a second exterior bar out here, and then a whole bunch of seating in this yard to be able to support increased customer base like this during busy periods. So always be looking for ways to constantly improve your business, whether it be a restaurant, service-based industry or not. And I hope you guys got a lot from this video and from me just really telling you the story about my first year in the restaurant business. And I'm going to be pushing out a ton more videos related to how to market your business, how to operate your business to ensure it's successful, how to do detailed financials for your business, as well as revenue projections. And then also really, like, I like to call it a Seek Matrix, but it's a step action checklist from nothing to building your business. So if you guys found this video useful, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you want me directly involved helping you along your business journey, check out my Patreon page. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.